Northwestern may not be in the hardest part of their schedule this year in basketball, but they're taking care of business. And this past win, it was impressive. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Northwestern, your daily podcast on the Northwestern Wildcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in. This is Locked On Northwestern, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, Carter Bird, and thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen today for anything and everything Northwestern. We really appreciate it. We're available wherever you get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can find us. We're also on YouTube. Just search Locked On Northwestern. You can find us there. Wherever you're listening, make sure you're subscribed and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss an episode. We're going to continue pumping out content. Today's show is also brought to you by our friends at LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, so here we go. I'm still sick, actually. Went back to the doctor today. Got chest looked at and everything, so I might be a little bit, might have a cough or two in the middle of this episode. But we're going to fight through it. And we're going to talk about this Northwestern Depaul game from Saturday. Coming into the game, Northwestern was 7-2. Hadn't played in nearly a week. 2-game winning streak there, with a 61-51 win over Prairie View A&M and a 70-63 win over Michigan State, which to this point is the win of the year for Northwestern by far. Depaul coming in 6-5 on the year, not as strong as Northwestern. Lost to Duquesne on the 14th, 66-55. Their losses this year were to Santa Clara, 69-61, Oklahoma State, 82-78, Texas A&M, 86-16, St. John's, 86-67, and Duquesne, 66-55. Their wins were against Loyola, Maryland, 72-66, Western Illinois, 86-74, Minnesota, out of the Big Ten, obviously. 69-53. Samford in overtime, who ironically, fun fact about my connection to Samford, the high school basketball coach when I went through high school at my high school, is now the head coach at Samford. So just fun fact there. Loyola Chicago in overtime, 78-72. And UTEP, 91-70. Coming into the game, Vegas thought Northwestern was a decent favorite. Nothing crazy. It wasn't a short favorite. It wasn't a short favorite. It wasn't a couple points, I guess, but it wasn't like a 17 or 18 point favorite like we've seen at certain times this year. Northwestern was an 8.5 point favorite in this game. The over-under was 134.5. You had to feel pretty good coming in. You really did. Because Northwestern, honestly, the way that this team has played all year, you have to feel like they have a chance in every game they play. Ironically, one of the games that I felt the most confident in, that Pitt game, was the one that got kind of flipped on its head and got away from them kind of early and often. Northwestern's had one of the best defenses in the country all year long. They've been in the top 10 of KenPom defense, adjusted defensive efficiency. Hard to do there, especially when there's 363 teams in the country. They're hit or miss on offense. They don't shoot well from two, but when they shoot well from three, they're that much harder to beat. And I think that's something that is key in a game, and really any G5 game, but any conference game, or really any game, to be honest with you. Uh, but you had to feel good coming in about the under, just with the way that Northwestern has been limiting opponents to such low point totals. And then, of course, the game kind of got started, and it's things got going in Northwestern's favor kind of quickly. Ty Berry hits a 3 to open the scoring to go up 3-0. Depaul ties it at 3 with a couple free throws. Then Northwestern flipped a switch. Northwestern did something we haven't seen all year. They became dominant in this game. They took a team that they were supposed to win by less than double digits, and they just went pedal to the metal all the way to the end of for 40 minutes, and really just put it on a Depaul team that I don't think was quite ready for that type of effort from Northwestern. In just a second, we're going to start to look, I guess, at the actual numbers and what they mean for the game, and then I guess look forward, look at the individual standouts in a second. But first, let's talk about our friends at LinkedIn. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. Add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on the candidates with just the right skills and experience, so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Also, thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen today. For your next listen, check out the Locked On Sports Today podcast. The biggest stories around the sports world in 20 minutes or less, plus instant reactions, big game recaps, and Locked On's take of the day. Locked On Sports Today, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All right. Let's dive into the first half stats because they're pretty impressive for this Northwestern team. On field goals, Depaul, 9 of 28 in the first half, 41.4%. Northwestern was 14 of 34 from three. From the field, 41.2%. From three, both teams were slightly above those averages. Northwestern, 42.1%, 8 of 19 from three. Depaul, 5 of 12, 41.7%. Both teams went to the line 3 times, hit both free throws for 100%, obviously. Northwestern protected the basketball a little bit better with 7 turnovers to DePaul's 10. Northwestern won the battle for points off turnovers 6-2. They also won the battle for the glass by 3, 21-18, 5-3 on the offensive glass, and 16-15 on the defensive glass, as Northwestern slightly won that battle as well. Second chance points, Northwestern had 8 to DePaul's 2. Bench points, Northwestern had 4 to DePaul's 3. Points in the paint are one of the few stats where DePaul was better, or actually was actually tied or better. Let's put it that way. Both teams tied with 8 points in the paint in the first half. Northwestern had 6 fast break points to DePaul's 0. Northwestern had 5 blocks to DePaul's 1 and 5 steals to DePaul's 2. The star of the first half had to be Chase Audige, who dropped 14 points. Really stellar job by him. Decently efficient as he did so. And that set up Northwestern to really put the clamps on DePaul in the second half on defense. Second half went very much in Northwestern's favor. They were 15 of 33 from the field, 45.5%, while DePaul was 7 of 24, 29.2%. So their field goal percentage really dropped off a cliff there in the second half. DePaul was 1 of 9 from 3 for 11.1%, while Northwestern was 5 of 14 for 35.7%. Northwestern did a better job getting to the line, going 9 for 11 for 81.8%, while DePaul got to the line 6 times, hitting 4 of them for 66.7% as well. Turnover differential was a little more drastic in the second half. DePaul with 12, Northwestern with just 5. Points off turnovers reflect that as well. 13 for Northwestern, 4 for DePaul. Rebounds, Northwestern dominated the glass a little bit better in the second half, 22-15. It was 16-13 on the defensive glass and 6-2 on the offensive glass. As a result, Northwestern 7 second chance points to DePaul's 2, 11 bench points to DePaul's 2 as well, and then 18 points in the paint to DePaul's 10. Fast break points, 11 for Northwestern, 8 for DePaul. DePaul had 2 blocks to Northwestern 0 in the second half. I think that's really the only stat that DePaul won in either half. Steals in the second half. Northwestern had 9 to DePaul's 4. So they really made life difficult on the defensive end for this DePaul team. For the total time of the game, Northwestern held the lead for 37 minutes and 36 seconds. Player of the second half, Chase Audige. Chase Audige had 14 points again. Northwestern outshot DePaul 43% to 31% for the game. They outshot them 39-29% from 3. They shot 14 free throws to DePaul's 9, going 86%, hitting 12 to DePaul's 7, or 78%. They won the points off turnover 19-6 for the game. They out-rebounded them 43-33. 11-5 on offense on the offensive glass. 15-5 on bench points. 26-18 on points in the paint. 17-8 on fast break points. 5-3 on blocks. 14-6 on steals, and 15-9 on assists. Northwestern just dominated this game. They won every statistical category imaginable, and it was really impressive to watch in this one. Before we move on to individual standouts and what's next for Northwestern, let's talk about our friends at BetOnline. BetOnline is your number one source for sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. Get the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there, from pro football to college bowl season to basketball and World Cup. We've got it all at BetOnline. If you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. We're the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. Thanks for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen today. Now make Locked On Sports today your second listen. Peter Bukowski brings you the biggest stories from around the sports world in 20 minutes. Get the analysis and opinions before anyone else with our local and national experts and insiders. Locked On Sports Today podcast available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. All right, let's jump into individual standouts in this game, and there's going to be a few more actually on Depaul than normally we've seen from opponents, because you had Errol Penn, 11.6 boards, 2 assists, 2 blocks, or actually 3 blocks, 2 steals, 5 turnovers, which is a microcosm of what Northwestern did to Depaul. Unfortunately, he did not lead the team in turnovers, which means that Northwestern frustrated somebody else as well. He was a minus 37 in the plus minus, 5 of 9 from the field, 0 of 1 from 3, 1 of 2 at the line in 34 minutes. Next is Phil Gebrowitz. 11 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, minus 26 in the plus minus in 30 minutes. Was 3 of 7 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, and 3 of 3 at the line. Next is Umoja Gibson. 10 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, minus 30 in the plus minus, 3 of 7 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, and 3 of 3 at the line. Actually, sorry, scratch that. 3 of 11 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3, and 2 of 3 at the line in 34 minutes. Deshaun Nelson kind of rounds this group out. 5 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 6 turnovers as he led the team in that category. Minus 17 in the plus minus, 2 of 6 from the field, 0 of 1 from 3, 1 of 1 at the line in 26 minutes. Chase Audige for Northwestern, 28 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals, as he does what he does every single game. You see that defensive impact. It's impressive. Plus 39 in the plus minus, 30 in 33 minutes, 11 of 19 from the field, 6 of 10 from 3. My only complaint is he did not get to the line in this game, and you'd like to see that a little bit. Boo Booey, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 turnovers as well. 1 steal, plus 25 in the plus minus, 29 minutes played. 5 of 16 from the field as he continues to not be efficient. 4 of 12 from 3 you will take. 3 of 3 at the line. Yeah, I mean, he played. I mean, he was he put up a solid stat line. You would like to see more assists. You would like to see a bigger defensive impact. You would like to see a bigger presence on the board if he's going to be that inefficient shooting the ball. Finally, Matt Nicholson, 9 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 2 steals, plus 21 in the plus minus in 20 minutes. 3 for 7 from the field, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 1.137 points per possession for the team, 46.6 scoring percentage on the game, and a 16.4 turnover percentage, as this team pulls out a very stellar, it was a dominant victory over Depaul, as they won 83-45 by 38 points in a game they were favored by 8.5. Pretty impressive, if you ask me. Nothing short of amazing by this group. They move up to number 56 in the KenPom, number 62 in the net rankings, and number 58 in the RPI. Up next tomorrow, they have UIC at 8 p.m. Or Tuesday. Let's say Tuesday, because this episode's now going to come out Tuesday, because I've had to redo it a couple times because I've been coughing too much. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's episode. Really impressive performance. Probably the most complete performance by this Northwestern team all year long. Really locking down this Depaul team. And getting another victory as they start to move back towards conference play coming soon. That's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Northwestern. Thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen today. We really appreciate it. We're available wherever you get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. And we're also on YouTube. Just search Locked On Northwestern. You can find us. Yeah. And make sure wherever you're listening, you are subscribed, turn on the notifications because you don't want to miss an episode. And yeah, I'm your host, Carter Bird. You can follow me on social media at CarterBird13. Hopefully over the course of this week, I'm not coughing the whole episode, so apologies for that. And I'll see you all next time.